Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss chapter number 4, heat. Let's start. We know that during the winter season we feel cold, so in order not to feel cold we wear woolen cloths. And during the summer season we feel hot, so we wear cotton cloths. In the winter season, if we are inside the house, then we feel cold, but if we come out from our house and if we stay for some time in the sun, then we feel warm. But during the summer season, we feel hot even if we are inside the house. How do we know whether an object is hot or cold? How do we find out how hot or cold an object is? So in order to answer that questions, we will discuss all these things in this chapter number 4, heat. So let's see the first topic, hot and cold. Let's see some objects, whether it is hot or cold. Let's see what are the hot objects and what are the cold objects. The first example is the ice cream. We know that ice cream is the cold object. And spoon in a teacup. Generally, tea is hot, so the spoon in the teacup will be warm or hot. Fruit juice is generally cold. Handle of a frying pan will be hot. So from this table, we know that which objects are cold and which objects are hot. There is a warning to all of you. Do not touch objects which are too hot. Be careful while handling a candle flame or a stove. So don't touch any hot objects. If it is required to touch the handle of a hot object, then you must be very careful, like in handling a candle flame or in handling a stove. Our sense of touch is not reliable or decide whether an object is hotter than the other. So in order to verify this, let us do an activity. Let us take a jar. We can name it as A. Another jar, name it as B, and the third jar, name it as C. In the jar A, we have to put some cold water, and in the jar B, we have to put some warm or hot water. And in the jar C, we have to mix equal quantity from the jar A and the jar B, and we will put here. That is mixing this cold water and hot water and we will put in this jar C. So it will be the mixed water. And then we will put our left hand inside this water, cold water, and we will put our right hand inside this hot or warm water for about 2 to 3 minutes. And after that, we will put together simultaneously our left and right hand together in this container C. At first, the left hand will feel cold since we are dipping in a cold water, and the right hand will feel hot since we are dipping in a hot water. And after 2 to 3 minutes, if we again simultaneously dip in this mixture of the container A and B, then here the left hand will feel warm and the right hand will feel cold. How does it happen? Actually, this is the same water, which is a mixture of the cold and hot water, which is mixed thoroughly. The same water, when we dip by our left and right hand, the left hand will feel warm and the right hand will feel cold. So from this activity, we can conclude that our sense of touch is not reliable. That is, our sense of touch cannot decide whether an object is hot or cold. So a reliable measure of the hotness of an object is its temperature. Temperature is measured by a device called thermometer. Temperature is measured by a device called thermometer. It is a reliable measure of hotness of an object, which was not reliable with our sense of touch. So let's study how the temperature is measured. Let's see the measuring temperature, how the temperature is measured. There are different types of thermometer. The first one that we may consider is the clinical thermometer. And the second one that we are going to discuss is the laboratory thermometer. The thermometer that measures our body temperature is known as the clinical thermometer. So the clinical thermometer measures our body temperature. And the laboratory thermometer measures the items or chemicals or anything that have inside the laboratory. So it measures the laboratory items. This is a clinical thermometer. In the clinical thermometer, it consists of a long, narrow, uniform glass tube. It has a bulb at one end. This bulb contains mercury. Outside the bulb, a small shining thread of mercury can be seen. If you do not see the mercury thread, then we can rotate like this. We can rotate the thermometer a bit till you see it. You will also find a scale on the thermometer. The scale we use is the Celsius scale indicated by degree C. So the Celsius scale is represented by degree C. A clinical thermometer reads temperature from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. That is, the minimum temperature that can read by the clinical thermometer is 35 degrees Celsius, and the maximum temperature that can read by this clinical thermometer is 42 degrees Celsius. There is another scale of temperature which is known as Fahrenheit. Represented by degree F. If it is measured in Fahrenheit, then the clinical thermometer have a range from 94 to 108 degree Fahrenheit. Let's see the precautions to be observed while using a clinical thermometer. Thermometers should be washed before and after use, preferably with an antiseptic solution. Ensure that before use, the mercury level is below 35 degrees Celsius. Read the thermometer, keeping the level of mercury along the line of sight. Handle the thermometer with care. If it hits against some hard object, it can break. Don't hold the thermometer by the bulb while reading it. So, these are the precautions to be observed while using a clinical thermometer. So, before reading the temperature by using the thermometer, we have to remember these precautions in mind. Next, let's see how a thermometer reads. Reading a thermometer. First, we have to note the temperature difference indicated between the two bigger marks, which can be seen here. This is 35 degrees Celsius and this is 36 degrees Celsius. In between these 35 degrees Celsius and 36 degrees Celsius, we see there are 10 equal divisions. So let's find out one division is equal to how much degrees Celsius. So in order to find this, let's calculate. In the above figure, the first temperature scale was 35 and the next one is 36, and there are 10 small divisions like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So in order to find the temperature of one division, then the difference between this 36 degrees Celsius and 35 degrees Celsius is 1. it will divide it by the number of divisions, that is 10. So we get 0.1. So 1 division will equal to 0.1 degree Celsius. Like this, we can calculate the temperature for each division in different thermometers. Say if there are only 5 divisions, like this is 35, this is 36, and say let's suppose there are only 5 divisions like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, then 1 division will equal to 1 by 5 degrees Celsius, that is 0.2 degree Celsius. Like this, we can calculate the temperature of each division.